morning, everyone, and thanks again, Channa, for this inspiring presentation. It has been really wonderful for Ericsson to partner with such a great company and achieve together so many first milestones in the world with our 5G journey. Now, what will be the biggest innovation platform ever that push the boundary of the technology forward? 5G is the answer. 5G enable new services for consumer and enterprise, as well as new unique use cases for the industry digitalization, creating amazing business opportunity across all the sector, like the one that you're representing here today. So, are you ready? Oh, guys, this is a 2G answer. Are you ready? And now we are talking. So 5G is here and now. We launched the first network with Verizon in October 2018. And we have been the first company to cover 4 continents with 5G technology. Today, 23 operators are commercially live with 5G, leveraging on Ericsson technology. And 5G is growing faster than what we predicted. 1.9 billion subscriptions by 2024 in a network that will carry 35% of the global traffic. But what are consumers saying about this technology? Through our consumer and industry lab, we conducted thousands of interviews over 22 countries that represent 1 billion subscriptions. And I can tell you, there is a big excitement around 5G. The expectation is not only to have an enhanced mobile broadband. They want to see new services enabled by the 5G technology. Do you know how many of these consumers they will use the smartphone as a gaming console? Any idea on the percentage? Anyone want to guess? No, it's 47%. How many of these consumers they will do on a weekly basis online shopping using virtual reality? Any idea? No one want to guess? We go up to 60%. And how many of these consumers, they think that we use the 3D holographic calls on a weekly basis? Again, 60%. Impressive. But if there is a number that all the communication service provider has to remember, is the number of subscribers that are prepared to churn if their operator are lagging behind with the 5G technology. And this is quite impressive, 36%. So great expectation from the consumer, fantastic, but are they willing to pay? The answer is yes. The willingness to pay is 20% price premium for the 5G new services. And this percentage goes up to 32 if you look at the early adopter. So let's have a look on one of the most successful markets, Korea. They launched 5G services 11th of April, and after 4 months, at the beginning of September, they already achieved 3 million subscriptions in only 4 months. All the telco operator managed to increase their ARPU through exclusive services as well as enhanced services. So they launched some exclusive application for 5G, leverage on the ultra-high definition, augmented reality, virtual reality. A leader in this market recently shared that the average consumption went up from 2.5 to 4 times versus LTE. And this consumption is mainly driven by applications like media, applications like gaming, but what is astonishing is the augmented reality and virtual reality application. the usage went up 84 times versus LTE. So it's a great market, great success of 5G. They're planning to cover 93% of the population by the year end. And I'm sure that you will see many other of the 23 markets I showed you before following this success story. Now, the telco operators are investing in 5G in order to enhance the capacity of the network and reduce the cost per gigabit. But in order to get the return on investment, it's not enough to provide enhanced mobile broadband or these new services to consumer. 5G goes beyond connecting people. 5G really enables the Internet of Things. This is a big paradigm shift from mobility to move from empowering consumer to empowering industries. We are at the beginning of a new industry revolution that is enabled by 5G, edge compute, and artificial intelligence. The new use cases, unique use cases enabled by 5G for the industry digitalization are opening an amazing new business opportunity for the communication service provider. In a recent market research, we estimate this addressable market to be $236 billion only for Asia Pacific. You can find all this information and much more in Ericsson.com. You get access to all this report in all the countries where we have done the analysis. But it's a huge amount of money, mainly in the healthcare, automotive, smart manufacturing, and energy and utilities. So open your doors to the industry collaboration. Now, let's have a look on some concrete use cases that we realized with leading telco operators around the world. And since I'm Italian, I love cars. I start with automotive, okay? I hope next year to present some cases with Ferrari, but unfortunately, we have only German car here. But the automotive, they need to move from massive production to massive customization. In order to do this, they need to have a very dynamic and programmable manufacturing system. So with the introduction of 5G, with the ultra-low latency, we connected the robots with sensor and artificial intelligence, enabling the true collaboration between robot and human being. This is amazing results that we brought and flexibility to this company. Through Vodafone and Telefonica, we deployed the 5G Ericsson private network solution to Mercedes, Audi, and Ego, achieving amazing results in terms of flexibility and productivity. Of course, you can use the same 5G coverage to provide many other services. For example, we can download the data in the cards in a matter of minutes. This is what we've done with Audi. And this process is called data shower. 20 cards in 20 minutes. Smart manufacturing, Industry 4.0 is not just about automotive. We also adopt the smart manufacturing in all our production system in Ericsson, across all over the world, in China, in Estonia, in Brazil, and recently we launched a completely new factory in Texas that is 5G enabled. So we are witness of the amazing benefit that this technology can bring to the industry. And this is particularly important in this part of the world where we have 50% of the global production automotive and 72% of the electronics. Let's move to another case. Ericsson is working with many harbors across all over the world. But today I will present this case because this has been the first harbor in the world adopting 5G in a real operation. It's the harbor of Qingdao in China, and we have done this with China Unicom. Now, typically in a harbor, you have tanks of giant cranes that are maneuvered by professionals on top of the cranes. These cranes are connected to multiple devices and high video camera through a very expensive system of fiber optics. What we have done, we swap all the fiber optics with the 5G technology. With the ultra-low latency now, the crane can be guided directly from the main office, introducing efficiency and safety in the operation. And you can do load and unload of the containers from the main office using the 5G technology. You can also use 5G for many other use cases in the harbor, for example, the automated guided vehicle that now are moving inside the harbor, basically without human assistance. The results of this real live trial is a 70% reduction of the labor cost, and of course, introduction of a much safer environment for the worker. So we've done the first 5G harbor in the world, but also we created the first 5G mine in the world. Mining sector is really very interesting. It's an industry of $500 billion per year. Very challenging working environment where you can be hurt by falling rocks, blasting, dangerous gases. At the same time, to work with tons of rocks with this giant machine, you need to have a very fine-tuned process. Every small disturbance on this process can create a huge issue to the mine operators. So what we've done in this mine, this is, by the way, in north of Sweden, Italia. This is the biggest copper mine in Europe, open copper mine. We provide 5G coverage. With the 5G coverage, we really enable the full control end-to-end of this process and enable the remote control of all these giant machines, introducing amazing benefit in terms of productivity and safety. On top of this, there are many other use cases that 5G can introduce. For example, one of the interesting use cases is about smart ventilation. I don't know if you are aware, but in a mine, I mean, the weight of the air you can extract to change the quality of the air is even higher than the weight of the raw rock. So introducing sensor in this mine that can detect the quality of the air, you can activate the ventilation only if the human being is entering this tunnel. Now it's happening very seldom with the full remote guidance of this machine, and only if the quality of the air is below a certain level. This is extremely important for environment protection, not only saving on the energy, since we can reduce the emission of dangerous gases and CO2 that are going to the atmosphere. So another great success story. All in all, 5G is not just about technology. So the telco operator, in order to capture the value of 5G, they need to build new capabilities. Starting from the business capability, in order to attract industry, to attract enterprise, and to attract the application developers, as well as the technical capabilities, in order to enable all the use cases that I presented today, and even much more, for example, SD-WAN. Last but not least, it's extremely important, the operational capability, in order to manage this complexity with a very low total cost of ownership and manage the quality of service expected by the industry and the consumer. So we, as Ericsson, we are building all this knowledge every day through the deployment on the 5G and the cloud network we are doing across all over the world. We are learning and we are investing in this capability, and we are the trusted partner for the communication service provider in this very complex transformation journey on all these business, technical, and operational area. So 5G is here and now. 5G is the biggest innovation platform ever that will transform all our industry. It will transform all our daily work. It will transform all our life. So let's get ready. Thank you.